Hey, what's up, guys? Yesterday we had a 5-3 day, so it was a slight loss day. So because what happens is that the odds are heavy on some plays. For example, the batter props. When the batter props are a little bit heavier, it doesn't matter if you win a little bit more as far as the record goes. But it would, like I said, it was a 5-3 day, so that should be a winning day, but it's not because of the odds. So it broke our winning streak. We did lose a little bit. It was like half a unit that we lost. I do have 5 games that I want to go through, and I'm going to just really quickly talk about what happened yesterday, but I'm not going to spend too much time in there. I did give away 3 plays yesterday right on this live, and all 3 of them hit. And then I also said that the Astros I was looking at very heavily, and I stayed away, but they ended up winning the game anyway. But I stayed away for a reason. They only won by 1 run. The other 3 that I gave away, they all hit. So let me just show you. Yeah, I had the Cubs. I shared that clearly. I explained every detail about that hit. They ended up winning by 3. Then we had Bobby Witt Jr., which I gave away in the VIP. That hit. I gave away the Rangers. I gave all the reasoning behind it. I even said that Baltimore looked better for the offense, but I gave all the reasoning why I like the Rangers. They ended up winning 10-2. The Dodgers, it was a little bit iffy because of the spread, but they ended up coming through 6-1. And I actually took this the night before. So I took these $25 the night before because I liked them that much. And you can see I got decent odds at a 145. And then I ended up taking them again right after I finished the live. And I paid more juice for that. But overall, guys, like I said, it was a 5-3 day. 3 batters didn't even play. They got canceled. And the other, I think it was 3 guys that didn't get one of them, he ended up getting an RBI, and the other 2 got a hit. So Yandy Diaz didn't get a hit, and Julio Rodriguez didn't get a hit. But it is what it is. We move on. I have 5 teams I want to get through real quick. I'm not going to get into all the details. I've already looked at a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of, I'm going to actually make a video called The Sharp Edge, and it's going to just basically explain how we come up with this information. So this information here that you see every day is basically just a bunch of scrapers, robots, and then somebody puts it together for me. So by the time I look at this, it's already cleaned up just the way you see it. And that's called The Sharp Edge. And like I said, I'm going to make a more in-depth video on that, and you guys can see if you guys want to check that out. Also, check out the free picks if you haven't done so. Check out the make sure you subscribe if you have done so. All right. Bob says here, I played the money lines you suggested and I won. Cool, man. Thank you, guys. All right, let me get started. So just so you know, I'm looking at these 5 games, but these 5 games are already filtered out. So I don't look at everything. I start doing I have a checklist that I go through in the morning. And then once I go through that checklist, I send it to the guy that puts all this stuff together for me. So he has a bunch of scrapers, robots, all this stuff that he's already trained on. And then he looks at these 5 games and puts it together. So then once I'm looking at this, it's already kind of filtered out. It's not just me throwing up some random shit. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, let's get started here. So Rays going against the Oakland A's, 182 to 182 to 211. That's a lot of juice. What is that? Strengthening by 28 cents. Okay, so the splits are very heavy. You can see 80% of the bets, 89% of the money. That's a 9% difference. So the money is coming in heavy on the Rays, but the line is still shifting dramatically. Once it passes minus 200, it's a big deal, and it's still going. So 80, and the reason that is the public money and the sharp money is coming in on the Rays. Classic stream roll, like I said, favorite. All right, Athletics are 9-1 against the spread. What the hell? All right, that's not good. So Athletics, again, I've already filtered a lot of this stuff out, but this is my first time looking at this today. So I'm going to go through the details just like I did yesterday and try to figure out if I'm going to end up playing these or not. Okay, I will tell you that the Rays, when they first came up, it came up because of the line move, not because of the data. So it's a little bit different. I'm not going to try to explain it right now, but I'm already seeing a big negative right here. It's 9-1 against the spread for the Athletics, which is not good. Also, a big under trend. What I started noticing this is that whenever a team is very strong on the under, that means that the games go under. That means that the pitching is doing somewhat of a decent job keeping the other team, the other team at bay. I hope that makes sense. So anyways, probable pitchers, Spence, he's decent right here at 3.82, 2-3 record. And then Pepoit is decent, 3.36 with a 5.6 record, and then 92 strikeouts. Mike Pence, 382, just like I mentioned. This is just a breakdown. And now the bullpen. So the backup for the bullpen, meaning the pitchers that come out and relieve the starting pitcher, is stronger for the Rays. Yeah, much stronger. That's a big difference of a 2 2.07 ERA. So the bullpen is better. The starting pitcher is a little bit better, not crazy, but he has played a lot more games. That's why you see a lot more strikeouts. But that is decent, though, also because since he played more games, then his record is more steady over a longer sample size. I hope that makes sense. So not only is the starting pitcher better, the bullpen is much better for the Rays. Rays, look at this red hot zone right here. That means that they've been getting a lot of hits. If you've been following me for any amount of time, Yandy Diaz has been hitting dramatically for us. So Brent Rooker is very good over here too. But overall, you can see the picture. There's a lot of red right here. What that means is that they're getting a lot of hits. They're getting a lot of on-base percentages. So the Rays recently, they're ranked 1. So yesterday what I noticed after I was watching the recording is that I said the Cubs were ranked 1 and also the Orioles were ranked 1. So the reason that happens is that whenever they're very, very close or almost exact on the OPS, meaning on-base percentage, there's actually tied. So like they're tied for first, tied for second. So I hope that makes sense. I just wanted to clear that up. Anyways, they're ranked first. The Rays are ranked first in on-base percentage. And then you go to the Athletics, they're ranked 11th. So there's a big difference there. So let's start putting this together. That's why it's in this flow, just like this. Starting pitcher is good. Bullpen is good. OPS is good. Projections are good, 5.4 to 4.1. Situational trends. So now we start getting into the trends. So projections are good. Bullpen is good. Starting pitching is good. Everything's looking good. Now we look at the 67, almost 70%. When they play at home, they win 70% of the time. There's a lot of unders that are here. I'm not looking at the unders. Okay, that's just home run expectations. Okay, so now are the Rays expected to bat in the 9th? I'm not going to get into those details, but it's saying no. And what that means is that they should be winning the game. Okay, the hits, it is over. So even though this says that the Rays are projected to go under 9.5, what that means is that the books have them to get 10 hits, okay? And they're favored to get less than 10 hits. But then you compare that to Athletics, they're only supposed to get 9 hits, and they're favored to go under 9 hits. So automatically, that's already a two hit difference. I hope that's making sense. I can explain that different, or if you guys understand that, I can keep moving on. But basically, there's a 2-hit difference right here. And one of them is saying it's going to go under 9 hits, and the other one is saying it's going to go under 10 hits. So basically, long story short is that the Rays are better projection-wise, okay? The model also says 72% of the Rays, they should win. There's a 72% chance. So it's saying stay away spot, again, because of the ATS. What this means is that the Oakland A's have been covering spreads. The Athletics just swept the Rays, which is not good. And Oakland A's. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go with a half a unit, okay? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with half a unit on the Rays money line. Because, like I said, right here it's telling you the Athletics just beat the Rays. The Athletics are covering spreads, but everything else matches. You see, they're projected to win. They're hitting a lot better. They have a better pitcher. They have a better bullpen. The line is shifting dramatic. So I'll probably do half a unit. That's what I'm going to do with these guys. Or you can stay away. And like I said, it didn't come up for a reason. Whenever I look at this stuff the night before, I actually look at all this data, and it's up for me. Like, for example, the Cardinals came up, things like that. But the Rays did not come up. So you know what? I'm just going to skip it. I'm not even going to go half a unit. The Rays should win, but I'm going to skip it. All right, let's go to the next one. Cardinals. Damn, this line shifted the wrong way. This shifted from earlier today to right now. When I was looking at this earlier, the Cardinals, it was shifting in the correct direction. Now it's actually going the opposite way. So this actually, I was doing the research earlier, and the Pirates did say that they can get good value on the Pirates today. And now I see why. Let me see. Let me go take a quick look. Let's see where the line is at right now on the money line. Yeah, it's going in the wrong direction. All right, that's not good. So I was looking at the rate. What do you call this? I was looking at the Cardinals today, and now I see that the line is actually shifting in the Pirates' direction. So the I've been looking at, it's saying that the Pirates have good right here at a plus 118, but I'm in a way. Just it's contradiction big time. Everything points to be pointing. So like I said, reverse line move detected. That's in big bold letters right there for a reason. And let me just show you. Let's see. Keller, this dude, look at this dude's record over here, 2-10. 3.9 compared to 8-2. Sonny Gray is one of their better pitchers. He's one of their ace pitchers. St. Louis does have better batting. OPS, you see the OPS rank, they're tied for 15th position. There's a very slight chance one is going to win over the other, but there's a big indication there. And then it is saying that the bats are going to bat heavy. So basically, this is saying that the Pirates are projected to bat in the ninth, meaning they're going to be losing the game because they're at home heavily. That's a minus 190. I'm staying away because the line shift is so dramatic, and then all these other little indications, like they're not supposed to win by much. These guys are getting a lot of hits. They're tied. So basically, if you're going to go with this, I would go with the first 5 innings on the St. Louis Cardinals, because we're kind of betting on Sonny Gray more than anything. But besides that, I'm not touching this game. Okay. So this is why I like to get all the information before I place my bets, because if I was just looking at the line move last night or this morning, I would have went with the Cardinals, because I had a bunch of information and everything was looking good and I would have placed it. So sometimes that happens too. Like even before the game starts, the line will shift dramatically in a way, like either an injury or the pitcher got changed or something crazy. But anyways, I'm skipping the game. So let's keep going here. The next game is the Cubs. We hit with them yesterday, just like I said. The line is still shifting in their direction. It's 142 to 158. That's a 16. Is that 16 cents juice move? Yes, it is. 88% of the bets, 94% of the money. Everything is it's stream rolling towards the Cubs, and it's still moving. Better record is decent. They're actually, the Guardians are under 500 team, meaning they lose more than they win. They just lost to the Cubs yesterday, like I said. 3-7 covering spreads, so they're not. Cubs do have a much better record compared to them. They've won the matchup, just like I said yesterday. So let's keep going. All right, this guy is one of their best pitchers, Imanaga. Shada Imanaga. He is one of their better pitchers, but then BB is also a very decent pitcher as well. So you can see the ERA here is very good compared to this guy. But this guy has a lot more, how can I put it, a lot more games played. So pitching somewhat, I would say it still favors Imanaga. It still favors the Cubs, but BB, you got to be careful with this guy. This guy's decent as well, even though this 3.9 is a little bit, how can I put it? BB is good. Let's put it that way, okay? Guardians are 4.02, the bullpen. So now let's look at the bullpen. So the starting pitching is somewhat even though the numbers don't show that. Let's just say they're kind of even on the pitching, the starter. But now you look at the bullpen is 4.02 compared to the Cubs 3.25. So they do have a over the we call it the Guardians. So now check this out. This is where it starts getting crazy. The Guardians are, what does this mean, man? Is this a good thing or what? Oh, I see, goated. I thought you said you're a problem. All right, no problem. So let's keep going, man. Guardians are 26th in batting OPS, meaning that they're one of the worst teams to get on base in the last 7 games, okay? The Cubs are ranked 4th. So like I said, yesterday they were ranked 1st, but it goes by 7 days. So this is more of a hot streak more than anything. You can also see, so basically ranked, so the Cubs were ranked 1st yesterday, or tied for 1st. Now they're ranked 4th. Guardians are bottom. All right. So Guardians have lost 5 straight up games, or haven't covered the script 5 straight up times. You can see the projections here. I'm not going to try to zoom in on this, but right below the Guardians, you see 5 little red circles. And what that means is they have not covered the spread 5 times in a row. The little green circles over here, they mean they do cover the spreads for the Cubs. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that the projections show good for the Cubs. So, all right, think about this. Starter is a little bit better. Bullpen is much better. Bats are extremely better. This is all matching towards the Cubs. So this is the reason I do the flow like this, so that we can start kind of putting the game together. All right, let's keep going here. The Cubs to bat in the 9th is only favored to win by a minus 120. That's not a heavy lean at all. And I think it's because of the starting pitcher for the Guardians. But overall, I mean, I like the Cubs in this position a lot. 74% chance to win. Strong favorite play. Everything is aligning, just like I said. Pitching, offense, recent form. Guardians are in terrible offense slump. They're the worst in OPS. Everything is like I just said. This is basically just repeating what I just said. So I am going to take the Cubs. Let me write this down. Give me a second. All right, these were my notes from yesterday. So if you were here, you knew this is what I put up. Rangers won, Dodgers won, and Cubs won. So I'm going to do the Cubs money line. All right. Let me put in here I'm going to write questionable to take a look at. I'm going to actually take a look at Sonny Gray, which is the pitcher for St. Louis on the strikeouts or earned runs. Okay, that's a little side note. I'm not going to get into those details, but I wanted to write myself some notes right there. I do trust Sonny Gray, but I don't trust St. Louis Cardinals. All right, so here we go. Cubs money line is what I'm going with for the first play. Let's keep going. There's 2 more games I got to go through. Let's see. Rockies. There's 2 more. All right, here we go. So the Astros versus the Rockies. We've been fading the hell out of the Rockies all season long, and it's been working in our favor. I'm not going to get into all these details. I explained this yesterday, but the Astros are heavily at 270. Now they're at 260. There's a lot of money coming in on the Astros, and the line is shifting in the wrong direction. But that's not a huge deal when it's this heavy. And the line is not moving dramatic. It's a 10-cent juice in the wrong direction. I still trust this, but it's heavily favored. So it might not be worth it because it's so expensive. So 92% of the bets, 95% of the money, massive public side. ATS. This is just the ATS record. Pretty much the Rockies are the worst in baseball right now. Astros have covered the spread 8-2, which is a good sign because if we go for a -1 or a -1.5, they're likely to the spread. They are very dominant. I would not touch this on a money line at all. You can see Gomber is 6.14 compared to Brown. Brown is one of the best pitchers in baseball. Every time he comes up, he's decent. Look at this, 8 wins, 3 losses, 1.74 ERA. I don't know if this is one of the best ERAs in baseball right now, but it is very, very good. He's almost came back yesterday. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, they were going against the Astros. Just like I said, I stayed away from the Astros yesterday for many reasons. But this today with Brown, I really do. So let's keep going here. ERA is very massive, big difference. Let's look at the comparison for the bullpen. So the bullpen is decent as well. Let's take a look at OPS. OPS, they're 11th ranked. So OPS is much better for the Astros. They're ranked 11th compared to the Rockies, which are ranked 21st. So pitching is much better. Extremely much better for the starter. The bullpen is somewhat better. And then the batting is better as well. It's not crazy. The projections show they should win by 2 or almost 2. I should say 1.5. Let's keep going. I'm probably going to do a -1 on this one. The Rockies under, I'm not going to look at that. I would not touch the under at all whenever they're playing in Colorado. So Rockies to bat in the 9th. Check this out. This is what I was talking about. I've said this a couple of times. If you look at the Rockies to not bat in the 9th, this is the only team I've seen that it's this heavily juiced. So what this means is that the books believe that the Rockies will not win this game, and they're not going to win. Or I'm sorry. It says yes, that they are supposed to bat, okay? So what this means is that the books think or feel that the Rockies will be losing this game and they're going to be forced to bat in the 9th. And this is an extremely heavy play. So again, this is a clear indication that the Rockies should lose this game. So now let's see. Astros over 10.5 hits are favored. That's 11 hits compared to 9 hits. I do like the Astros here. It's somewhat of a 75% chance. I like it, but I don't know if I'm going to take it at the -1.5. I'll take it at a -1. All right, so let's look at that. I can either do that or first 5 innings. So I can look at that. So let's do that. So I'm not sure how I'm going to play that. I said this yesterday. I've said this several times. I'm not going to show exactly what I'm going with because I got to think about it, and I don't want to try to think about it as I'm talking to you guys and shooting this video and all that stuff. So this is what I'm looking at. But this is not what I'm going to go with exactly until I look at the numbers, I look at the odds, and then I try to figure out, should I go with the first 5 money line? Should I go with Sonny Gray and all this other stuff? I have to actually think about it, how I'm going to play that. So don't quote me exactly on that. That's what I'm looking at. I do like the Cubs for sure. So I am taking the Cubs for sure. But the other two are, I don't know exactly how I'm going to play it. All right, here we go. The last game is the Dodgers. Dodgers started at a 295. They're at a 320, just like the other team I showed above, which was this one with the Rays. This one is dramatically moving as well towards the Dodgers. So the Dodgers and the Rockies are the two worst teams in baseball. Every time I see the White Sox and the Rockies, I try to fade them. And Dodgers is one of the better teams right now. So it's like a huge mismatch. I'm not going to get into all these details. I've already looked at this since yesterday. Let me just confirm some of these numbers, but then we should be good. You have Tampa, right? No, I'm skipping Tampa. The line. Wait a minute. Did I say I was going to go with Tampa? Let me take a look. I can't remember if I said I was going to take them. I don't know. I don't remember. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take them. The only thing I am going to take them. The only thing I was worried about is this little 9-2 ATS, and then I'm not trying to force it. That's what it was. Okay, I'm not going to force it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go with half a unit. Let's do that. I'll go with the Rays half a unit because the A's are 9-1 ATS, and they've swept the Rays recently. Okay, so they've actually swept them, and they're 9-1 in the last last 10 games. All right, let's keep going. So I might stay away from the Rays. That's just to be honest. I don't need to force anything. I might just skip it. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I'm not decided yet, but we'll see. All right, the Dodgers, very heavy. Money's coming in. Everything is looking. I'm not even going to look at these trends. Everything is going towards the White Sox are just suck. All right, here we go. 4.33 ERA compared to 3.02. This dude is perfect. Not, as a player, not as a person. 4.0. So basically, this dude has won 4 games and lost 0 games. So every time he's played, they've won. 3.03 ERA compared to this guy, 4.33 ERA. So this dude's better. Let's look at the Kershaw is one of the better pitchers. We got bullpen. It's somewhat of like a break even on the bullpen. So it's more of the starting pitcher. Dodgers are ranked 4th compared to the White Sox, who ranked 21st. Okay, so let's put it this way. The projections are showing that they're going to win 5.6 to 3.9. Then you got the better pitcher. You got the better OPS, meaning on-base percentage. I really like the Dodgers in this position. The last game they won 6-1, and then it's heavily juiced that they're not even going to bat in the 9th. All right, so again, this is a very solid favorite, extreme line movement, but they have everything. So I think this is what I'm going to do with these guys. I'm going to parlay them with a batter that I have in the VIP. I already posted it, but I'm either going to parlay this together with a batter, or I'm going to do a -1.5. I'm not sure yet. I got to look at the odds. So let's see. Dodgers -1.5. So if you guys haven't done so, man, make sure you subscribe. I give away a lot of free information. I gave away 3 plays yesterday on this live, and they all 3 hit. I'm not saying that that's going to happen again, but I do my research, as you can see. If you guys want to check out the link in the description, everything I just walked through, it's called the Sharp Edge. And then I use Outlier for all the batter props. And then if you guys check out the Discord and the 1 week VIP, 1 day VIP and all that stuff, it's all available on the link in the description. Let's see what else I had. Anyways, guys, that's all I got, man. So I do like the Cubs. I do like the Dodgers -1.5. I'm going to go with the Astros maybe at a -1. And then the Rays, I might stay away from the Rays just because of the records showing. Somebody did just point out that the Athletics are missing a bunch of players. So I'm going to go check that out. If they are injured and everything matches, then I might go with the Rays. But depending on what I see with the injuries and all that, I'm not going to get into all those details. I'm also going to look at Sonny Gray for strikeouts. And then I had some batter props already posted inside the VIP. I think I had 1 under RBI and 2 or 3 1-hits. So I do have somebody working on a video right now, and they're going to post 2 batter props. If you guys want those, look out for the YouTube short. That should be coming up maybe in about 15, 20 minutes. So make sure you subscribe, guys. If you haven't done so, go to YouTube, type in Beast Sports Picks, and subscribe over there. Thank you so much, man. Let's have another great day.